course, by the way, there's a post published on the Planet Radio Sports page. Go there, drop a comment to the sports page, and we're going to take your comment in the course of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to go down.
From the sky to breathe to the stars.
Football fans attack, and it's live on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. The conversation starts from the home scene. Before we talk about the NPFL, let's tell you that the newly elected governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, has gifted Ayimba Football Club 20 million naira for the efforts in the just completed NPL Super 6 playoffs. The People's Elephants regained the crown after playing a 1-1 draw against Rest United in the final game of Super 6. Despite having a shaky form at home in the average format of the league, the Aba-based club garnered enough points and goals on the road to upstage the closest challenger, Akwa United, on goal difference. The governor announced the cash reward on Monday yesterday, despite hosting the team last week Thursday. The monetary reward is expected to serve as a motivation for the club ahead of their return to the CAF Champions League. By the way, we also hear that the outgoing chairman, Chief Felix Anyasiago, and the coaches and the staff of the club also got an undisclosed amount of money as compensation or reward, if you like.
To the sea, to the air.
So let's come down into the NNL. After just 2 seasons in the second division, Sporting Lagos have gained promotion to the Nigerian Premier League for next season. That's what it's going to be called. And it was thanks to a 3-0 victory over Abeokuta Stormers FC yesterday, the second game of the NNL Super 8 playoffs in Asaba, Delta State. Review scored the first goal for Sporting 55 minutes into the game, while Okud Saturday netted on Monday to help seal the qualification and promotion spot for the side. Paul of Force side are the first team in the NNL Super 8 to confirm their status ahead of next season. Their last group game is against Heartland on Wednesday, and the former NPFL champions must avoid defeat if they hope to join Sporting in the NPFL next season. But after drawing their first game against Stormers on Sunday, Heartland recorded their first win of the playoffs with a 1-0 victory against FC1 Rockets. Sadly for 1 Rockets, they are yet to win a game, and it's been an interesting story. Well, a sad story for them, rather. So far, so good in the competition, because they've played 2 games, they've lost twice as well. That's it for the Southern Conference. In the North, former NP4 champions, 4-time champions actually, Canopilas are within just touching distances to qualify for the NPFL, getting promotion back to the top flights. They defeated DMDFC by 2 goals to 0 yesterday at the playoffs. Mubarak Sani opened the scoring for Canopilas in the first half before Abdullahi Aruna stole the win rather for the NNL side coached by Ivan Zogenyi. back as well yesterday when they were beaten 2-1 by EFCC in the second game. Well, EFCC raced to a 2-goal lead in the first half before Victor Obama pulled one back for Katina United. With 3 points each, Katina and EFCC must win their last group games on Wednesday, tomorrow, to stand a chance of getting promotion back to the NPFL. All right, so match day 2, and we already have a team booking its status as a top flight team for the next season. Well, Sporting Lagos burst into the scene some 2 years ago. Of course, a club funded by the CEO of a fintech company. He also has a football club in Denmark. His name is Shola Kiladi, and in just 2 seasons, they've been able to secure promotion to the NPFL. Talk to us about this team, Sporting Lagos, and what have they brought to Nigerian football so far, so good.
First of all, I think it's quite nice to have a Lagos team back to the NPFL.
Yes, it's MFM.
NPL, if you want to call it that. And Godwin and Agen are being part of it, who's leading that side. But on the other hand, it's a big stage, and it's all about being consistent. We saw the story with MFM at the time. First season was quite good. Second season was nothing to write home about. But I'm quite appreciative that this team are able to make it to this top level of this competition and execute this win and qualify. It makes a lot of sense. Quite aside from FC1 Rocket Aquarium perspective, they've not been able to make the most of the chances they had. It's the second consecutive loss for them, not seeming good at all as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But on the other hand, they have to try again and keep trying. But for Kano Pila as the top side, I think they'll qualify from this group, and it's basically what it is. Good to have the NNL coming as exciting as the NPFL playoff was, and it makes a lot of sense.
Right, so great. Let's talk about this Sporting Lagos team a bit more in-depth format. Well, they mirror a team that obviously has money, right? And they've spent the money. You know, but over time, we've seen these things play out before. Not every team that has money and, of course, spends money gets to the NPFL. A show analogy, show example is Van Dresa Football Club, right? Despite all of the model, all of the eye-catching, attractive, ventures that brought into the NPFL, and of course we know the Nigerian football we know they had a lot of money that brought in money. We saw how they did things. It was clearly different and peculiar to what we used to know. So it clearly showed you that there was money. But over the years, I think it's up to 4 years now, and they're still not able to secure promotion to the NPFL. What has been the difference between administration? Well, basically, the difference between Vanessa Football Club and Sporting Lagos, and why has Sporting in just 2 years secured promotion to the NPFL?
I think there's a clear case of having the right people around you, having the right people for the job, and
Yeah.
involving yourself as much as possible in your business as well. It's not just about the matter of buying a club or owning a football club. Are you involved in football? Do you know the basics of football? Do you have people around you who knows what and what to do with the football club? You can see the owner of Sporting Lagos coming to the scene is already going into football, having gone to...
He goes to watch their games.
He has a club in Europe, goes to Europe, watches football, tries to replicate what he sees there over here as well. Making good signings. You can see what he did with the administration, brought in the former chairman of MFL, brought him in, and then, tried to make some changes around, and of course, it has paid off completely. So it's not a matter of just having plenty of money. It's, are you willing to invest in it? Are you willing to be involved in it? Are you going to bring the right people around to do the job? You have the resources, yes, but are you going to keep sentiments aside and do what you have to do? Because that's all that matters. Of course, now, definitely now, Sporting Lagos by next year they're going to have one of the biggest fan base in Lagos.
Absolutely.
So, of course, you can't deny the fact that yes, this is money well spent. This is investment well done.
Right. So, Blyden, this question is completely sentimental, and that's due to the fact that Vanessa Football Club has got links with the Akwa Ibom State. And it will be a delight for us in the state to see that team get promotion to the NPFL. What are the lessons that they can learn from Sporting Lagos?
Well, for me, I always say in football isn't just about branding. First, it's all about having the right footballers to play for you and create the right demand. That's the difference for me. Each time I look at Van Dresa, I do not think they have the right footballers in there, number one, and the right demand in terms of mentality. But I keep wondering, what are your demands? What do you want? Is it just to be around and play the game and be making promotional appearances and brands? That's it for me. It doesn't work that way.
Sadly, and ridiculous as well, they almost got relegated to the 3rd division of Nigerian football at the end of last season.
So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Football begins with the right management. In fact, let me start this way. Having a right coach around you and the right players and creating that demand. Immediately when you do that, you're going to get result. So the question is, which area are they spending money on? Are they spending money on the most important aspect of the game, or it's just generally spending money and having a few fair time when it has to do with running a club?
That's a conversation. And let's also talk about the FC1 Rockets. Well, another Akwa Ibom State team. Sadly, they've not done the very best so far. Brighton, 2 games, 2 losses. Many surprises. FC1 Rockets, uncharted territory. They've not been here before, unfortunately. And they're still not so impressive after 2 games. And right now, it's unadjusted for them. There's no chance of qualifying.
Well, I think they've not had enough money. If they had enough money, probably they could have won it. I've seen the demand in the team comparatively side by side to Van Dresser. That's a
You talk about money, talk about quality. Let's understand.
Yeah, both. Money brings quality. That's a conversation.
Yeah, because when you say they don't have enough money, you look like you need money to win these games.
Yeah, sometimes.
You need quality to win these games.
Yeah, you need money to get the right quality to win your games in the right way and in the right time, quickly. We've seen what the FC1 Rockets have done. I think they've really fought this season. A couple of times we've analyzed FC1 Rocket from the FA Cup moving forward. They qualified as the second team at the FA Cup level to join Akwa United at the FA Cup. So that's a conversation. They showed class and dominance moving to the stage, but a definitive point, that's a
right. So we have the media manager of FC1 Rockets, Akila Matawal, in Asaba Delta State. Well, good afternoon, Akila. It's good to have you on the show.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, you sound very sober. I wonder why.
Well, nothing really. It's football.
All right.
There are moments where you get to your lowest, and there are moments of celebration. So we are disappointed. I know our fans are disappointed as well, but what can we do?
All right.
We have come a long way, but it hasn't panned out the way we had expected.
So, 2 games, 2 losses, and your chances are blown away. What's the spirit like in the camp of the boys right now? What's the energy like?
Initially, everyone was downcast, disappointed, downtrodden, and in a state of hopelessness. But I think everyone has picked himself up. At the moment, the boys have a free day, and they've been told to just relax, enjoy themselves. Even our scheduled training has been called off because our game tomorrow will be a mere formality. We're just playing for pride in the final game against Thomas, who will be banking on victory against us, and maybe Sporting Lagos to defeat Heartland for them to go through. So I think initially everyone was sad because it wasn't the plan. The ambition was to come to the playoff, get one of the tickets to the Nigeria Premier Football League.
All right.
It hasn't worked out, but everyone knows it's football. 2 teams were going to make it from the group. Unlucky for us, we're not one of them. But for everyone who has followed us, for everyone who has seen the games, the fans, everybody at the Stephen Keshi Stadium from day one when we played against Sporting Lagos to yesterday when we played against Heartland, we've not played badly. We've played.
All right. So I was going there, Akila. I was going there. 2 successive 1-0 defeats at the hands of Sporting Lagos, and of course some Heartland Football Club, like you said. What would you say has been the biggest bane in the team, the biggest problem, if you like, in the team in these 2 games?
First of all, I think I'll say luck, because if it's by the balance of play, if it's by ball possession, if it's by creating chances, we've created a flurry of them. We've had several shots on target, like yesterday against Heartland, hit the woodwork from a free kick through Clinton Jefta. I had very clear chances, glaring chances that should have been converted. In some moments, the players will slip because the pitch is a bit, let me say, loamy somehow.
Yeah, that probably due to the weather, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really allow for proper flow of the game, but the boys have been able to hold their own. They've stuck to the team's tradition of knocking the ball on the floor. We've created lots of chances. Poor finishing has been a factor. Ill luck has been a factor. And I think maybe anxiety, because in all of these games, the first game, we controlled the opening exchanges, had chances we couldn't convert at a point. The boys got anxious, and a momentary loss of concentration in the final minutes led to the goal against Sporting Lagos. The goal conceded, and yesterday as well, we're down 1-0 in the 15th minute, so there was that anxiety to fight back, get the equalizer, and go for the win. But on the whole, I think disappointed, but then fulfilling to see the kind of football that they've displayed at the Stephen Keshi Stadium. And it's been an amazing season by all standards. We're down in the early part of the season. We're 5 points adrift of Rovers of Calabar, closed the gap, went top of the table, and qualified for the Super 8. So if you look back from where we came from, it's an accomplished season, even though the ambition has not been fully achieved of getting promotion to the Nigeria Premier Football League. But it's something to build on for the future.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, final question, Akila. First of all, congratulations, because the feat to even qualify for the Super 8 was quite remarkable, judging from, the stakes at the regular season when your team was 5 points adrift of Rovers of Calabar, like you said. So congrats on that one. But of course, the question in the hearts and minds of so many more Rockets fans right now is, well, it's done and dusted. There's no chances at qualification. What next for FC1 Rockets going forward?
After the Super 8, of course, the team will take a break. The players need to go see their families. They need to go probably refresh themselves, forget about the disappointment of the season. Even though a season that has surpassed expectations, judging by where we came from, and probably regroup, have a moment of break, regroup, and see how we build on that. Of course, it's football. Definitely some players will leave because most of them have quality. They have the quality to step up in their careers, probably.
I just wish you give us a few names of the potential exits at One Rockets.
Well, most of them will exit, I am sure, because even during the regular season, there were contacts for them at the playoffs as well. Many of them have been spotted. Contacts have been made. The likes of Clinton Jefta, fantastic player for this team. 3 goals in the regular season. Had a couple of assists, scored in the Federation Cup against Lobby Stars. Wandasini Yakubu as well, the team top scorer in the league. 4 goals. Scored against Lobby Stars as well in the FA Cup. When we exited in the round of 64, the defensive partnership of Charles Etim, James Sunday, solid throughout season. There are players that could get deals elsewhere and leave the team. You look at the other aspects of defense, Bidemi Obodo on the right, Harrison Eba on the left, fantastic players on their day. The midfield as well, captain of the side, Ugochukwu Obere, ever reliable, doing the dirty job in midfield, in the defensive midfield positions. You look at the attacking midfielders as well. Julius William, experienced player in the fold of the team, got a goal against Rovers of Calabar. The front line as well, just like I said, Clinton Jefta, Wanderson Yakubu, Good News Paul, and the host of others. It's a team that is not shy of quality.
Right. Yes, so as we bounce, as we let you go, Akila, there's a name, the whole Aquabs that is expected you to mention, Daniel Daga.
Yeah, he couldn't come to the playoff with us because there were situations around him. He had a knock in training. It would have allowed him play, but the management thought it wasn't nice to gamble that because
he's an asset, right? He's an asset.
A potential move is on the pipeline, and it's better to just stay safe, let that heal, and we'll see what the future brings for him. Hopefully, in the next few days, few months, there should be something from his camp, but it's definite.
All right.
He's going to move, and once that is done, we'll make that public.
All right, so Akila, one more question from Blyden.
Yeah. All right, Akila, here's Blyden. Listening to you, I tend to have this perception, as you said, that it's all about rebuilding for next season, because when lots of players are leaving the club, you have to rebuild. And not many clubs will go through that difficulty, having to rebuild. But let's look at the situation now, because we're hopeful that we've gotten an experience, gone to the NNL Super Playoff, and next season it could be the next target for you. Yes, this season has been fantastic already. What could we see that FC1 Rocket has learned from this season, especially the NNL, and what could they do differently next season?
Well, it's been a learning curve. I think if you follow really well, it's a club that is not too long when it comes to the length of time it has been in existence. It's just our third season in the Nigerian National League, and giant strides have been made. Players have moved from this club to get deals abroad. Others have moved and are playing in the Nigeria Premier Football League. And that has been the philosophy of the team. It's a team that is meant to build young stars and export them to the world. So I think that has been achieved to a larger extent. We just spoke about Daniel Daga as well, who is on the move, feeling a move to Europe in no meantime.
All right.
There are other players in the team as well who are assets who could be leaving as well. So I think that is the first ambition for the team. But then secondly, we don't want to remain stagnant. We want to move from the Nigerian National League to the Nigeria Premier Football League, and that will remain the ambition. We are hopeful that the technical crew have done an amazing job this season will remain. The management will try to probably work on the lapses of this season, particularly the NNL playoff, because this is where it's really gone bad for the team. But motivation-wise, the players have been motivated really enough this season. For every win that we've had this season and results on the road, there have been bonuses for them, and I'm sure the management will want to maintain that and see what the future holds. But on the whole, I think lessons will always be learned in football. They have been learned, and the management is poised to do better next season and give Coach Ndubuisi that the needed support that he wants to ensure that we get a step higher and get promoted to the Nigeria Premier League.
Thank you very much, Akila Matawa, for talking to us. We hope you come back home soon and get our fan soup. Very important.
Afang can be gotten anywhere.
No. There's no place like Afang soup at home.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Right, so the media manager of FC1 Rockets talking extensively about the team, the performance, the spirit in camp, and the ambition going forward for the side. Well, Brighton, as he said, it's a learning curve. Uncharted territory, they've not been here before, so they might have learnt a lot. So that if they come here again, they'll probably do better.
Yeah, 3 years down the line for them, but decent. They've performed honorably for me, because when I listened to him, he said they've achieved a lot getting to the the playoffs, and it makes a lot of sense comparatively. Yeah. I hope they can learn and reinforce, and probably next season they can be part of the Nigerian Premier League moving forward and qualify from the NNL.
Right, so that's a conversation from there. Let's move on and talk about transfers from Nigerian perspective. William Trosekong has completed a summer transfer move to POK Thessaloniki of Greece from Watford. According to the man Fabrizio Romano disclosed this yesterday that Trosekong joined POK on a permanent deal after putting pen to paper on a 3-year contract with the Greek Super League side. And of course, we hear that Mekong was looked at by several clubs, including Panathinaikos, Genoa, Verona, but the man decided to join POK Thessaloniki for the next season. Wish him the very best as he continues his football surgeon in faraway Greece. First batch of calls here before we continue. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Also head to Facebook, streaming live on Planet Radio 101 FM page. Go there, career will do justice to the comment there, and also the sports page. Go there, drop comments there too. We'll take them in the course of the show. Good afternoon, Tom Gunner. Welcome. Welcome, Tom Gunner.
To me, if you produce quality players again that you qualify for, things that qualify for the camp competition money, they'll get prepared because of this year. It's a part of exercise. I like it. It should keep them in shape. Kudos to them.
Thank you very much, Top Gun. I was taking calls in, but let's tell you that Cremonese striker Cyril Kolawole Dessers is set to sign a 4-year contract at Rangers ahead of his move to the Ibrox Stadium. The Belgian journalist Sven Klaas said this yesterday, and of course it's been a story that the man is going to join Rangers Football Club for a reported fee of £5 million. Good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon, the Maradona.
Welcome, the Victor.
Yeah, good afternoon, Clarence, and Maradona. A really great time in the NNL Super 8 playoff. Let me say that, let me say thank the Sporting Lagos for them qualifying to the NPL. Let me say something, it was a really great tournament, you know. You have seen some of these teams, you know, some of them were really big. in the NPFL and now return like Kano pillars, even the likes of MSM and others. So it shows that like that the FC1 Rockets judging on their players, their peculiar performance. So you give them chances for them to come out and play and showcase. Let us see. That's why the IMC and the NFF must do best to showcase the league in the screen and make it what it's supposed to be. We want to see more players that will come from the Nigeria. When we have continental assignment or the country assignment, they must go and do well. That's my view. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Victor, for talking to us. Your thoughts, really appreciate it. All right, so here's an interesting story, guys. The UEFA European League rankings data have been dropped, and the latest story is that the French Ligue 1 drops to 7th in UEFA's latest European League rankings. And the classification structure, which was only determined by UEFA every 2 years in November, defined as a moment when all UEFA countries have finished the qualifying phase of the forthcoming World Cup and European Championships. Well, according to the rankings, which is in effect for the new season, each association's accomplishment in European tournament from 2019 to 2024 was taken into consideration. And as things stand right now, the French Ligue 1 is no more in Europe's top 5 league. Here's the top 5. England definitely sits top. Italy comes second. German Bundesliga comes third. Spain comes fourth. And Belgium comes fifth. As a matter of fact, Netherlands comes sixth. And the French Ligue 1 comes seventh. Portugal 8th. Turkish League 9th. And Swiss League 10th. Well, Emmanuel De Grey, a league that had arguably the world's best player last season, had Neymar last season, had a World Cup winner, Kylian Mbappe last season, had a couple of top performers across different teams. They had Alexis Sanchez in that team and all of that, but they've dropped to 7th in the latest UEFA rankings. What do you make of the story?
Well, I'm not surprised, I think it's always been a matter of competition between the teams.
Yeah.
Personally, you prefer to watch a championship game, Watford West Brom, over Strasbourg Reigns or over Marseille. Or it's just how it's been. I think the French league has been trying. The move that Neymar made some years ago. I think it's what attracted a lot of people to the French league a couple of years ago.
You want to disrespect Ronaldinho and David Beckham?
I think those men they still left to Italy. Those men they still David Beckham retired with France.
But Ronaldinho was there.
But
the great JJ Okocha was there.
All those men they left there now. They left
no,
there,
but they were there at some point.
How many top players do we know who retired from France? I think there's only Beckham I know.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic was there. Edinson Cavani was there.
Zlatan had to come to Man U to enjoy some football. So of course he even said it. Zlatan himself even said it that PSG is bigger than the whole France. So of course I think we are only aware of 2 or 3 teams in France there, and it comes to me as no surprise at all to see them in that position.
Now, Blyden, one of the reasons. One of the key factors that guides these rankings is the performance of these clubs in European tournaments, like the Champions League, the Europa League, the Euros, and all of that. And you'd agree that the French clubs rather, have done little or nothing in terms of competition in Europe so far. So good. No surprises.
Yeah, not really too surprising, but still a distance because when I look at Belgium, who plays number 5. Yeah. They've not really relatively done anything when it has to do European competition from my standpoint. You could mention countries like Portugal, quite decent in European competition. We're talking about Porto, talking about Benfica.
When you say Belgium hasn't been...
Now, here's the thing.
When you say Belgium...
This rankings, just so we know, it's a rankings over the course of 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's a competition over the course of 5 years. And then if you look at it, let's just look at, the performance of... I think we should take performance of the Dutch teams and Belgian teams in the course of 5 years.
Portuguese.
Yeah, no, it's Belgium 5th and Netherlands 6th before France 7th. So the conversation is, why is Belgium and Netherlands ahead of France, right?
Well, the conversation for me is, if we're dropping the French side downward, what's happening to the Portuguese side? Where are they? Why are they not number 5?
They're 8th.
Because the moment he said the French were downward, I thought it was Portuguese. Look at when clubs are buying players from Portuguese side, they buy them expensive. I'm talking about quite expensive.
Yeah, but that's different from their performance in European competition.
European competition, we look the last 5 years, we'll see where the Portuguese are. We're talking about top teams, Sporting CP over time. We're talking about Benfica. We're talking about FC Porto. they've been pretty decent compared to Belgian side. I can't even think of any Belgian side that've done well in European competition.
Agree. Belgium, they don't deserve to be there.
Well, I think if I want to take a look at it, for the past 5 years, I think Belgium have been able to produce a lot of young stars from their leagues. I think they are not really much into, once they bring out these stars, I don't think these stars are able to be able to cope around with the level of football in Belgium. But I think it's very important that Belgium have this very important ability of discovering talents, of bringing up raw talents. Look at the example of the players that Genk have been producing over time. Ghent have been producing over time. Royal Antwerp have been producing over time. Those are good boys who are making waves around Europe, and I think it's very important that we give their flowers to them, because of course in every competition, every European competition, of course there is a Belgium team always available.
I have not seen one in the last 5 years. Have been struggling to get a name of a Belgium club that's done so well in the Europa.
Then you need to expand your encyclopedia and read more, because I think we have heard of Ghent. We have heard of Genk.
In European competition, that's the conversation. The only club I could think of, would be what's the name of this club now?
Standard League.
Club Brugge last season.
Club Brugge as well.
Yeah, they went all the way to the quarterfinals.
Compared to the Portuguese side
of the UEFA Champions League.
They were beaten by the Portuguese out of the competition.
Yeah, that's true. But
the
previous season, right?
Let's look at the previous season.
Whatever it is, the case is, we have to admit the fact that, of course, that Belgium, they have been able to bring up a lot of stars over the years.
The identity isn't about just bringing a lot of stars.
Yeah,
we're talking about club football, how they've performed over time. I don't know, probably there are other indices to use and judge, Mari. But from these index that we've talked about, when it has to do it, I do not see any other country in Europe that's better than the Portuguese in the past 5 years in European competition. I do not see it.
09022231011 and 0817-624-8565. We'll take the Portuguese and of course how they've been performing so far so good in UEFA competitions.
Well, I think to me, the Portuguese, to me, they are really not interested in too much playing of football and trying to enjoy the football. I think they are more into making more money or business, because I think over the time we have seen with the Portuguese teams, especially Benfica, making good money moves. You can see the likes of Bruno of Sporting CP as well, making moves, of course. You can see FC Porto making moves, of course. All of them have been.
Why is somebody raising dust about Netherlands? That's also over France. Because in Netherlands, how have they performed the past 5 years?
You only talk about Ajax.
Feyenoord went to the Conference League final 2 seasons ago.
Feyenoord is there.
Conference League is basically like a third tier.
It's a European competition.
Yes, if you put performance at the Champions League side by side with Conference League, you can place it there.
But in the last 5 years, Ajax have gone to the Champions League quarterfinals, right?
Yeah, they've gone once.
Right. Feyenoord is there.
And within these 5 years,
I think Ajax has been a prominent team in the Champions League for like a couple of years now, like the past 2-3 years. They have been a standout team. No doubt about that.
Let's take calls in. 090.
In recent times, Ajax have struggled to qualify from the group stage.
090-222-3111 and 0817-624-8565. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, my donor.
Welcome. If you're
Yes, this is Jamaica calling from Northern.
all right.
I don't know, I'm happy, I'm proud of the governor of Area State, Governor Alex Ochi, for the money you have given to him back there. No, that's a very good form of motivation to the players. I'm very sure with that motivation next season they will do very well. As for Mauricio Pochettino, he was on verge yesterday, and he sounded very as someone that knows that someday he will be sacked at Chelsea. It's the Chelsea, the mentality, and Chelsea is the win. I'm very happy that he knows that Chelsea fans are not anything apart from winning. So he should do very well, step up to the game, and see how he can bring back the glory to Chelsea. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. You will take us to Facebook in a moment or two from now. We'll still taking calls in 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565.
The world is
is 1010. I'm calling from Osongma Estate.
Welcome, 1010.
Yeah, this is the conversation. I feel like the French league has lost its value. Over the years, we have seen PSG dominate the league. Apart from clubs like PSG, probably Marseille, Lyon, which other club can we say are giving them a tough fight in the league? So I feel like the new ranking is well deserving. After the EPL, I think the Italian Serie A is one of the best, considering the fact that they were able to produce 3 teams in 3 different finals, club finals in European football. So I think they need investors, they need the Arab money to come in. Thank you very much, Man U. Up Man United, down Chelsea.
Thank you very much. That's an interesting conversation. But let's try to do these things with stats, in fact, because I am a sucker for stats. Well, for Netherlands, let's look at their performance of Dutch teams in the past 5 years. Let's start with Netherlands. For Netherlands, 2019, Ajax went all the way to the 3rd round of the qualifying, the UEFA Champions League. Then they went down to the Europa League, and that was it for them. They lost in round of 32 to Getafe. PSV Eindhoven that same season qualified for the Champions League 2, lost in the 2nd qualifying round to Basel. And of course, Basel advanced to the Europa League and finished 3rd place in the group stages. Finally, that same season went to the Europa League, and then they finished 4th place in the group stages, couldn't qualify for anything. AZ Alkmaar that same season went all the way to the Europa League, lost in round of 32 to LASK. Utrecht also qualified for the Europa League that same season through a playoff, and they lost the 2nd qualifying round to Zinski Mota. In 2021 season, Ajax went to the Champions League, dropped down to the Europa League, lost in the quarterfinals to AS Roma. AZ Alkmaar went to the Champions League through a league finish, lost in the 3rd qualifying round to Dynamo Kiev. Then they went down to the Europa League, where they finished 3rd place in the group, couldn't go far. Feyenoord also went to the Europa League that same season, finished 3rd place in the group stages, and PSV Eindhoven also lost the round of 32 to the Europa League that season, lost to Olympiacos. Ajax, and of course, Ajax lost the round of 32 in the Champions League that season to Bayern Munich. PSV lost in the Champions League that season, round of 32 as well, to Barcelona. All the way to the Champions League, lost in the 1st round to Arsenal, and FC20 as well through the qualifying, lost to Benfica. Well, last season, the 2022-23 season, Ajax finished 3rd place in their group, and they went to the Europa League, where they lost to Union Berlin in the knockout round. PSV Eindhoven, of course, Champions League, went down to the Europa League and lost to Sevilla at the end of the final. Were in the Europa League, and they went down to lost in the quarterfinals to AS Roma. FC20 also qualified for the Conference League, where they lost to Fiorentina, and AZ Alkmaar also qualified for the Conference League, where they lost to Fiorentina. They went down to the Europa League round of 32, where they lost. FC Porto dropped down to the Europa League as well, lost in round of 32 as well. Sporting Lisbon, the Europa League, they crashed out in round of 32 too. The next season, Porto went to the Champions League, lost in the quarterfinals to Chelsea, if you remember that season. And of Benfica, the Europa League, lost in round of 32, and it goes on and on and all of that. Well, we'll do this conversation later tomorrow, where we'll watch these issues and decide, particularly why Belgium and Netherlands is ahead of Portugal in the conversation. But according to what UEFA is saying, in the past 5 years, Netherlands and Belgium have done better than France. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. My name is Uswa from Middle of Planet.
Just go ahead.
Please, I want to know the latest transfer from Arsenal.
Arsenal. We hear that Julian Timber's deal is set to be done in a couple of days, and of course it's going to be interesting. But just before we leave France, Luis Enrique will be presented as PSG's new head coach after the departure of Christophe Galtier. Now, by the way, Galtier is not in prison; he's in jail. He's been detained. Now, they've seen different top class managers come: Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel, Carlo Ancelotti, You name them. Pochettino, of course. Now, what's the assurance that Luis Enrique would be that savior for them?
It's PSG. They are the top dogs in the French league. So I think, to me personally, in the league, I don't see him having any challenges.
It's the Champions League they're looking for.
So the Champions League is a different ball game, and Luis Enrique is not a stranger to the Champions League. He knows the Champions League in and out. And to me, I think he has that wealth of experience. He has that wealth of talent, and he's a very good manager. So I think. To be honest with you, I think this is time for PSG to bring in the manager, you're an experienced manager, and say, okay, look, run this club for us, however you want to run it, however you want to do it, just run the club for us. We're not going to put our hands, we're not going to disturb you. We just want you to run this club for us and take us as far as possible in the Champions League. And I think Luis Enrique is more than capable of doing that for them.
All right, so former England captain Steven Gerrard has been named the new manager of Saudi side Al Ettifaq. He's 43, said in June that he was invited into the country to look at the potential offer, but he was not going to take. That man said he was not going to take it, but he signed a 2-year contract. He's going to earn a lot of money. And what money cannot do, more money would always do.
Yeah, absolutely. Man is going for money now. I was thinking he was going to be one of the new top managers moving forward. After failing at Aston Villa, I was hoping he would try another club and see how he can correct his mistakes. Sometimes you have these failures and become a better coach, but he's gotten to a point where he says, in the words of Marizona, that this is where he belongs. He has to go for money. And it's been the conversation. I'm quite proud of the man, Jose Mourinho, the special one. Man is special for a reason. He says to Saudi Arabian clubs, I'm not coming. I'll stick with Roma. I have a project. What gods?
That's the conversation.
Personally, I don't have any issue with the Saudi league. I would personally love to be watching the league.
Like, look at this man. Look at this man.
Sadly, they don't pay you for watching the league.
This man opens his mouth.
One man went and 1,000 people followed him, so 100 followers.
Somebody, England will not give him the money Saudi has given to him.
Look at his head. He says, no club will invite him back to England. I'm telling the truth, man. I can't invite him to my club. Come on. Do a coach.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Well, Rudy Garcia left China to Napoli. Rafael Benitez, when China used to be the money spenders, left China to Everton, right?
Well, those are established names already. One world, the other married.
To me, I think Steven Gerrard is still a very young coach. He's just
so he's going to go to Saudi Arabia and come back.
Of course, there are a lot of opportunities in Europe for him if he decides to come back. So I think for me it's just it's just one of those things you have to do: get experience, get wealth, and then move along.
He's going to coach FCBT Lamp.
Sadly, they've not come for Lampard.
Good afternoon.
I'm good afternoon.
Welcome.
But I want to ask about my missing Greenwood.
Yeah, Mason is training at United right now, but the conversation is he might not play in England next season. What we hear is he's going to be loaned out to either Italy or Turkey.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, Brighton brought Frank. Drag that man sitting peacefully where he is, and you drag him to the conversation.
I think he's more deserving going to Saudis. Look,
than Gerrard.
Look, here's the conversation, Mary. We've seen what Frank Lampard can do. At some point, after Chelsea, everyone thought probably
what can Frank Lampard do?
He doesn't belong here. He doesn't belong in the top level, as far as I'm concerned. Especially when you play top-level football, lent under these humongous managers. We're talking about Jose Mourinho, Crusading, Benitez, name them, Ancelotti, all the best managers in the world, and he's doing what he's doing. My brother, he should retire at Saudi Arabia and be anything.
Callum Hudson-Odoi wants to leave Chelsea, Equity. He wants to play regular football. Hudson-Odoi went to Leverkusen on loan with so much promise, but it never happened. What has been his problem?
I haven't really understood that guy from the beginning, actually, because I think he's just been in and out of the scene a lot of times. And when he went to Germany,
Leverkusen,
he was completely out.
Had a chance to learn over a young coach in Alonso.
He was completely out of it, and I just think maybe he needs more football time. He should go somewhere he can get it. There's Swansea, there's Leicester. Of course, he can always get football time from there.
I think if he comes back to Chelsea, he might get a chance to play. It's a young squad.
Absolutely not.
Chelsea right
not
now.
Possible.
Chelsea right now have young players. We're looking at the wingers. Who's there? Pulisic is living. It's Mikhailo Modric and Madueke on the other hand. And when it has to do with talent, Oxendor is quite talented. Remember when he first came onto the scene, but disappointingly, it's not really worked out for him away from home. Typical of young players, but he never can tell. Coming back to Chelsea is one of those big names.
Chelsea should let that guy go.
If you follow Mikhail Budrik, there's a tattoo on his neck. Talent is not enough. Good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Hello, Marizona.
Victor.
Yes, Marizona. Let me talk about my team Chelsea and the coach Mauricio Pochettino stepping down today. That's stepping feet today in Stamford Bridge. Now, you know what? A really great moment, because the way I see Stamford Bridge next season, it's going to be a new rebrand. No, those the players that they have been signed and not some of the remaining ones. You don't know their names and what they have been able to do. But I believe next season, I still believe that Chelsea is going to win a new look and come with a great get. And even we play that, we'll still win that game. That's my thing.
Thank you very much. Julian Timber is close to being announced as the Arsenal centre back. The man could bless a defender, centre back, and as right back. Well, Brighton, Arsenal struggled last season in the absence of William Saliba. Julian Timber, what exactly is he bringing to Arsenal apart from Timber and Caliber, of course?
Well, I was about to go there. Man has got Timber and Caliber, definitely. A decent player, I must say, defender, I must say. But he's young, relatively unknown as far as I'm concerned. But we're looking at Arteta's squad. Is a team built around young stars.
I was going there, Blyden. People say, well, you have to sign at least one established centre-back to guide, to lead your backline. But Mikel Arteta does not buy that philosophy. He still wants his young boys to be his young boys.
Well, I think he was quite impressed with Saliba, what Saliba did. No one gave Saliba a chance, but really stood tall last season. He's adding up the numbers like Saliba, more Salibas to the team. That's the way I'm looking at it, and we just hope it works out for him. One thing is to make the signings. The other thing is for these signings to work out.
Timber, Caliber, Saliba, and Gabriel. It's going to be interesting. 090-2223-1011. Thiago Alcantara is also in the books of Al-Shabaab in Saudi Arabia, but he says that he wants to stay put at Liverpool Football Club.
Breathe from the depths.
Shout out to the welcome football fans. It's great to have you, Gray. Facebook. All right.
Then I just want to tell those ones that don't believe that Arsenal will collect necessary league. They said Arsenal will not even qualify for top 4. I think they see what they are doing now in the transfer issues. But next season, they are going to play a big team because I don't see anything that can beat Arsenal right now with this squad I'm seeing now.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
All right, from Facebook here, we have a couple of comments from our Facebook official page, Planet 101.1 FM. And I'm going to take some few comments from here. This is from Solomon James. Good afternoon, Mari. Please, if Man United takeover is completed before the transfer deadline, can Man United be given the luxury to spend more than £120 million given to them initially?
It's not about the takeover. It's about, their wage cap. It's about if they can sell players.
I think the limit given by the FA, of course, I think it's going to be a
huge problem
for them. So I think now, like Manchester United, I think it's going to be very easy for them to lay off some players because now we've seen some clubs starting to show interest in some other players as well, like the likes of Fred. You've seen Fulham coming up for them. Yeah, of course. And right now, I think Manchester United had already made a bid. Have already agreed personal terms with Sofiane Amrabat, so I think it's also a good deal as well. So if they want to bring him in, I think they'll have to let some players go. And this is another comment from Francis Emmanuel. He says, "Good afternoon, guys. The new rank of all top 5 leagues is in order, though I feel the Portuguese league should come in ahead of the French league and even than the Belgian league." Good afternoon, Mari. Congratulations to Sporting Lagos, but it's quite sad that FC1 Rocket lost back-to-back games in their bid to qualify for the NPL for next season. Nevertheless, it's football. These things do happen. Hopefully, they will learn, prepare themselves better, and possibly bounce back next season. I wish them the same as well. So, okay, that's a comment from the Facebook.
All right, so let's take the sports page as quickly as possible. Famous Judas says, good afternoon, football fans. Congrats to Sporting Lagos for getting promotion. One Rockets broke my heart. Papi says, good afternoon. I want to congratulate Sporting Lagos for the promotion to the NPFL. So, Beryl Joseph says, should Calvin Bassey leave Ajax? I don't think so. Brighton might be relegated next season. That's the Red Justice, a beautiful one. Kane Pillars and Sporting Lagos are the clubs I wanted in the Premier Division. I'm glad they've made it. Chibueze who says, been a while here, you guys. Please update me on United signings, especially Onana and the Norwegian striker. Thanks. Daniel Obisong says, good afternoon, sports crew. I want to know the takeover. Well, it's not completed yet. For Andre Onana, we hear it's all about soft talks Nothing yet.
Yeah, the president of Inter has already admitted that, of course, there's an interest for Manchester United, but
there's also
waiting. Yeah, they're still waiting for the official bid to be placed yet, but I think it should be done.
You also hear Saudi Arabia looking to sign the man as well.
Well, Saudi Arabia is
an early bid of 40 million for Manchester.
He's been valued around 42 million pounds. Yeah, so I think Manchester United are going to submit their first bid, and of course Saudi Arabia, they're in everyone's backyard. So I think
we take one more call in our backyard before we bounce. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565.
The world is
Yes.
Which I'm seeing now.
All right. Thank you very much. But that's it for the show. Thank you, Brandon Aquarius. Thank you, Brandon Looking, for being a part of the conversation. Happy birthday to our front desk officer, Jemima Josam. We have our very best wishes. Happy birthday, Jemmy. Thank you for all you do for the company. Brandon, we're bouncing. Aquarius has bounced already.
Well, typical of the man knows how to bounce. I hear Brozovic are set to go to Saudi Arabia too.
Marcelo Brozovic.
Yeah, Inter Milan.
One is going cold-blooded. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the show. My name is Marizona. See you tomorrow.